I like to say, and to raise awareness. That's the the main goal of this channel and other medias. That the Munchausen syndrome by proxy is little. It's little. It brings death. I've researched it in Spanish, in Portuguese, in English, mostly in English. That's what you find the most articles about it, and videos on YouTube, and you find that in books, and find indirect references, and in French I've searched as well. And I have some reading even in Italian, because it's not difficult for me knowing like French and Italian, even French, Spanish and Portuguese. Italian is not difficult. It's just I don't speak Italian, but it's not difficult at all. And I can watch and can understand and read. And then, but the rates, of course, it's an estimate, but it's gonna vary, like between 80 and 90%. That's actually the most articles that if you type in English, you're gonna find about Munchausen syndrome by proxy victims or cases. You're gonna find that most of them they die in the childhood, which is infanticide, which is understandable, because mothers like that, they are not, they are not prepared. I'm gonna cite one case that actually was not diagnosed as Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but is an infanticide case of a mother that killed, I think his baby was 2-3 years ago in Italy, beating him because the baby was crying. So she's totally nuts. She had like a brain. The baby had a brain death. In Brazil, some years ago, 2-3 years ago, in my state actually, a mother killed an 11-year-old kid, and actually she hid his corpse. Actually, it was even worse, lied. So that's good to say, because some people, like in some of the groups, because some of them I see that there is debate between in them. There are some, there is the people that feel that they cancel. I've seen one person, one of the groups I am, and that's actually about the health. She quit the group because she said her comment was canceled, and she was quitting the group. But sometimes there is debates about what punishment should have, what's this, and there are different situations. That's what I said, that people should be more united and just raise awareness about it. That it's just like this. I'm happy because they target an adult. So what happens to the children who survive? Because when they start to become the teenagers, then the things start to get worse, and your target, and many people who has actually siblings, they start to have problems. That's what actually you can read that in articles I could put, but I put many already, and some of them that I probably put here and there, they have passages. They say, look, it's mostly a mother that have Munchausen syndrome by proxy. She's gonna put the siblings against her victim. She's gonna put everyone, like the grandfather or the cousins, and the father. Many women complained about that. And actually the father, he develops a sort of, there is one person that I spoke to, a lawyer in Brazil. She didn't have a clue and said, oh, well, that's contagious. Yes, it is, because even a psychological thing can be contagious. My father developed Munchausen syndrome by proxy. He really believes I'm sick, like there is, he's had a sour heart. And actually they destroy your image. They are trying to, when you say cancel you out, is cancel your ideas, that you don't have any value. And they want like a dead child, or a dead adult, or someone that is their slaves, that submitted to them, that don't get married, and then you don't context your things, your own things, that your own goods. Even if you had toys, there's many people who keep their toys, like you can give most of them, like 80%. Sometimes you keep one or two to decorate your house, to give to your children. They keep everything. They keep like even books, and they are gonna say, and it's like you were born in the forest. And there's a difference, like even the Thenardier's history in The Miserables from Victor Hugo's book, you can see that. And they give everything to the others, and a mother is gonna pursue it, like either a daughter, or a son, a woman, or or a man, all her life. And that it's I had reports from people. Of course, I keep their names because some people they hide because they say they do exactly like that. They spy on you. They try to destroy your image. And there are adults that they have like 30, 40, even 50 years old. They say they keep doing that. And then what? It's a form. It's a form or a way of silent murder. It's just disguised subreptitious. I don't know which image I'm gonna use for this, but I could talk about semiotics, which I learned in university, which is more or less the interpretation. I think I'm gonna maybe use the classical image. That's a classical. There's many of there is double senses, and this image, if I use this for this, or I'm gonna use for another podcast, just I always improvise. I just think about the idea and I just try to raise awareness. It's from an old lady. Probably have seen this because that's very famous actually. I don't know if there is even if there is it's if it's there is an author for that. You learn that you have to see that at least in communication science. But it's weird because I showed it to a student of psychology that I met here once, and she didn't know that. She was in the third year here. She didn't know that. And actually, you can see an old lady or either a young lady. Some people see the first time see the one or the other, and it's rare people that by themselves can see both. So that's just a perception thing. It's just to see that if you don't have a whole of the ensemble, of the whole context, first you're just already getting things wrong. I remember that my teacher she had to show for basically to everyone, except like I don't know, there was 30, 35 people in the class, except like maybe two or three people that just got the two, but most of them took some time, but she had so far to show for most of them. Look, here is but she showed with the finger. I'm not gonna be able to do that here. I don't have technology and enough to show where is the but you are gonna see the one and the other. Just I'm gonna as a hint, that's because it's just like it's easy for you to try to see the perception stuff. The face of the young lady is turned where the upper left, and the face of the younger the face of the young lady, yes, and the face of the aged or the older lady is facing like the down left to the side. If you try to separate, you're gonna see both, which shows another thing that people complain about the Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is the Jekyll and Hyde thing, because a mother like that is very nasty when they are alone. It's just like this is just Danny DeVito's movie or that, but they are very nasty, and in front of the others they are like angels. They haven't done anything. So that's why it led to me even to have like a very try to be very sincere in my life, very straight, because I cannot stand this fakeness. It's lethal. It's just like many people. I'm not using this. I've seen like in groups they called their mothers snakes, they call the mothers cows, snakes, fake, and that kills. And they're gonna say they are gonna cancel you out. They are many people, even that they suffer. They cause deceit, the deceptiveness, which is like cheating. Deceptiveness. They are deceit. They just play a role, and they destroy your image. Like the good mother that takes the good father, and they like that have like the two brothers, one brother and sister, one or two sisters, or one that is benefiting from it financially, that is just like in probably has the contaminated, is probably treat her or his son or daughter like this, and you have this stuff. But it's little. It's gonna like I come from a wealthy family. It's just like they do reversal psychology. I have to find work. They took part in my job. Like I put in my Twitter account. It has maybe I'll publish. It has that because that's my access information. Almost 13,000 views of that pinned tweet that my father was sending a porn message. So he's a doctor, a gynecologist. 3 months after I fired, I don't even have to mention there is. I try to find this as well. I sometimes take some time, but I have this. Just when he called me, if that call is open, it's a call from WhatsApp. He called from my mother's after 1998, as far to 1999, in 2019. She waited and she knew what was happening when my sister took the contact 6 months before, and my sister profited from it. She just closed up. She finished to talk to me, and I started to be threatened here. And then my mother, it's a call from my mother's phone, but it's my father totally drunk. It's from 6th of June. It's only to get my number as well. 6th of June, 2019. I just had received the news because though the letter date from the 21st May, which is coming now, of 2019, which is just 1 month for, guess what? For the cameras of the shop to be erased. I've done videos in Portuguese. I think not even in English. I'm probably gonna do. I don't think I went to the specifics showing the proofs, but I've done in Portuguese and in French, showing that. And you think I believe in justice, but for justice to work, you need to have like a support from people, because otherwise just gonna cancel you, or you will say your family is against you, your manager against you. Just forget it, and they kill you. In the end, I have a sister that like she doesn't work, a mother who doesn't work, and it's just like even the people who I know there are feminists in those groups, they are against this. Because my mother, actually, you think, oh, she's not working, it's the poor, because the man needs to work, because it's just like it's against feminism, but by the way. And my mother, people's gonna say, oh no, well, she's working as a household, she's cleaning stuff. She's like, if they do, like we have like the standard image, the woman with the apron. No, not at all. Actually, she has females doing that for her. She's giving orders. So these females are actually using aprons. She's giving orders to everyone, and she causes that. She causes deceit, and it's gonna be little in my case. I'm surprised. Actually, I'm surprised. I'm doing a lot of effort to keep like speaking English. I will have to come to my French sometimes, because French is just like the language that's here, and that's I'm speaking like at least when I go to the supermarket, but I don't speak fluently anymore since I lost my job 2 years ago. And I lost basically there is the insurance that I would never want the insurance. I want my job. But even the insurance that didn't cover, if I take the insurance out that didn't cover it, I was below the minimum wages. I was like 1,100 euros. I can open that. There's not a problem. I have the pay slips, and but the insurance just covered like 950. But if I take the insurance out, and I lost 40,000 pounds, and I live on rent on a 14 meter squares. My sister is gonna say, oh, she takes care of a castle with loads. She's not even living there. So my father bought a car to her, bought actually, even I don't know if now he bought an apartment to her, or a house, because now she get rid of me. Because before there was this, you have to share things. There is no sharing there. Don't. And she was living out of rent, actually, because she wanted. And it's weird, because before my thirds I was told, no, you cannot live. There is no law about it. And they had like an apartment inside the house, but they said, okay, we made an agreement. But for my sister, she went after her 30s, and my father was paying everything. She never worked. She was saying that I had to graduate, and I graduated and I was 27, and I didn't even did the half studies of like law studies. So I know a bit, and they raise awareness. And some people thanked me, even like there is other like health groups just talk about general stuff, and they said, oh, I didn't know about that. How sad is that? Things to bring awareness, because people are they like this. They say like, so our society just close our eyes for many things. And I'm gonna die. Some people are gonna say, oh, you're stressed. Of course I'm stressed. Of course I'm not gonna be rational. Of course I just had another nightmares. And there's, oh, you have nightmares, you interpret your nightmares. There's people that are gonna say to do that. There's specialists that are gonna say, and there are neuroscientists that study nightmares. There are psychologists, psychiatrists. There is other people, anthropologists, scientists that study nightmares, and dreams and nightmares, and do interpretation. Some of them are, you don't need even to interpret. They straight away. I dream every night. Like either I lost my rent. With a bag. I lost everything I have. And I have them struggling with the thing that I don't want to ask money. Then I'm very dangerous conditions and poor. I am in poor conditions now. I'm doing a meal a day, and sometimes even I try to say to myself, it's okay. I have a meal a day. I have an apartment. When I sleep, I sleep about the place I live, and it comes in a nightmare, and it comes the reality, and say face it. It's just like it's horrible. The way you are living, it's like it's not human. It's under human. Even if you still have the money to pay your tiny room, that's probably like it's a prison cell, but you're paying for that. The money that left from your savings, your life, and that for just to go to the supermarket, you are bleeding, and you are aging. That's I was talking to another friend that's talking about that, and you're aging. Then your sister is I dream with that. I have nightmares. They are profiting from it, both of them. One of them, the twin sister, she plays the good one sometimes, just to make sure that I'm screwed. None of them took part in sending emails to people here saying I'm a good son. And you say, no, you were because you were horrible. No, there are many mails, and I published, and I'm gonna publish more, saying that I'm excellent. And even my father made loads of compliments. I was just praised for because I was doing my life, and my sister never. And then she profits over 40s, and then things appear. And then my mother couldn't do anything. Then she manipulates. She manipulates my father, totally alcoholic. Even this mistake. Okay, it could be not, but he's alcoholic. I would like to see him uh, like uh, under Big Brother like that. And his alcoholism actually, the fact that you drink, that's not a problem. The fact that he used to drink like on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays never bothered me. I always told him, because my sister used to call him like alcoholic, and my mother, but I think it was to take hold of his stuff, which they managed to actually to manipulate his mind. But I would say no, he doesn't bother me, as long as it doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't beat. And once he beated me, he just he beat me, and I was like 25, 26, pushed by my mother. Had nothing to fight about it, and my mother just like I came like tired from. I was doing like the two universities. I had course in the morning. Then I worked in the afternoon, and I have course like class. I had class like in the evening. So I went out from the house like 7:30. I came like 10:30. I was exhausted, and she went there and because she wanted to see sometimes my homework. She never saw that when I was a kid, when I was a kid. And then she wanted to see like and just like just always making up things. And oh, Herman Ayrton's not talk to my father is not talking to me. He's aggressive because I'm not talking. He doesn't want to talk. And then he beat me like drunk. He was a drunk. She was making his head. She made his head against a guy from Germany that I was hearing. I lived. Then I moved from rooms. I went from the upstairs because I didn't want to hear anymore. But she was just like chatting, like you say this term in England. It's not even bad word. Pitching all the time. It's like she was during the day, because my father used to go out for this work. He was a gentleman, more like aged, an older gentleman from Germany, that he went to Brazil when he was young and rented a room with my father, with my grandmother. And then he was there visiting in Brazil there, I don't know, 2000 somethings. And during the day, my mother used to please him, used to talk to him, not even mentioning that there was anything else than this. It's just like, and during the night, she's just saying, he's just like talking bad things, just putting things one against each other. And then my father had a go, he had a fight for nothing. My father is not even, because then she brought like he's saying bad things about Brazil. It's the opposite. I used to talk to him. He was like an artist and a philosopher. He was very open-minded, a very nice guy to talk about. And my mother was saying, then my father had a go a fight, and then I couldn't hold myself. I was even trying to meditate at my room. I just, she was doing like this crazy stuff. And then I went and talked to him. I said, look, because he couldn't, he had long time, he wasn't in Brazil, but he could speak Portuguese more or less, but he couldn't, maybe if it like speaks fast, he couldn't. But I tried to say to him, and I went there because she was serving like the things that I don't know even if it wasn't normally it was my father to cook, but she was just doing this, and just seeing, and she was laughing. She was like smiling, not laughing, but was smiling her face, while my father just was just having for nothing. The guy was scared. Then I went to my room, I meditated, and I went out and I said, I pointed to her and I said, look, that's her, that she's doing that, and I tried to explain to him. And I was tired of that. She doesn't stop. She did that with other people. She's trying to put my father against. So she keeps my father united with her, because the relationship, if you can imagine, if he's sending porn message when he's like at the gynecologist, the doctor he claims to be serious. That's the worst part, because many probably doctors do that, and they're gonna say, oh, I do that, so I'm not gonna say to hurt them, because I always send looking porn. I don't care about that. You can look your porn stuff, but if you claim you are serious and have a son that's fired, and you're saying your son is you, then you have like a character problem, a moral problem to sort out, And then I said this, and then they after they said to the guy, I went to my room. They said to the guy that I was blaming the dog, or either that I was blaming himself, the guy that I was cursing at him. No, not at all. I was just pointing at my mother and said that's her fault. It's my father is fighting as she puts him against me and cause huge fights for nothing. I remember that the night he was totally drunk, and he gave me like 2 punches in my face, and I couldn't react, because they are gonna say much more. Go ahead. And just like your boxer, you're strong, your fight is really strong. And then he was totally drunk, and it's just like don't even fight with drunk people. But it was sad, and he broke like a gift that I had given to him, like was a cup, like from our clubs. That it was very dear for me, and I put my heart. I remember that I actually went to another state traveling, and it was very beautiful. That was one of the things that most hurt me. He threw that with rage, like on the wall of my room, and my mother is there, is smiling with that, and that's a killer. For my sister, they profit if they get like me away from my grandfather, like they did. My twin sister did that. She profits from that. She doesn't even care about him, but as long as it's money wise, there's financial things, and then my mother controls things, and that's little. Then it doesn't depend to me to find a job. I shouldn't be dismissed. And then I lost, like, I'm being in the crossfire. I had a nightmare this night that actually even the girl I like here, that her image was a bit destroyed, when she quit her job by like their politics. And I was dreaming about people like that, and like I'm in situations that people you're getting the crossfire, and they were destroying my image. Then the nightmare came to me and said they are destroying my image. You don't think about that, but they are killing me. Even they support my manager to even in the under the hood, in the background, so I cannot react. Because if even if my manager, she confessed or she wanted to fix things, actually she has to denounce them. So it doesn't, and they have to see, like Munchausen syndrome. I do two metaphors. I'm seeing some people do metaphors, and like metaphors in groups. It's like a cancer. It's gonna keep it coming metastasis. That's why they put like in the Portuguese version, that I would probably use the same English at some point. Maybe I use of the hydras. Maybe I'll find another image to distinguish from that series of the hydras, because it's like a cancer, and she's keeping spreading metastases, like my father. People to aggress you, and they keep doing that on an adult, and there is when they try to make an adult vulnerable. So that's what they benefited, like with me losing my job, because now if I get sick, I disappear, I die, or I fall under their control, then anything I do, it's gonna be against me, and they control me, or they benefit. They benefit even if it's something left, or they can claim like, oh, we are the good parents who lost a son. And my father dad used to say that never a son or a daughter, should die before their parents. Now he's doing the opposite, and it's just like, and there's even a story from the Bible. And my mother acts like that. She claims as unconditional love. That's rubbish. That's her excuse. It's not crying. My both sisters protects her as she was above, like Virgin Mary. It's just like, she didn't commit anything. Like we just bragged from like I don't remember which name of that word is that you hear from fables, but she just like she never did anything, and then you mistrust. And then there's this Jekyll and Hyde. I think everybody has like moods in life. You can have a good mood sometimes, bad moods. I don't see a problem. Different moods. If it's someone, it's like it's normal. It's you get to, it's rather if you have your balance. But if you are under pressure, an animal is just beaten all the time. You can see for most things that he's gonna react. A horse is gonna bite you or is gonna do something. Just like out of mistreatment, and just that's reaction for violence. And then there is many kinds of violence. My father, he didn't know how to breed like dogs. Didn't know at all. I used to read a lot of magazines about it, but it's little, it's gonna kill me. Like, and they know it. They know. They think they don't know my channel. They know I passed to them many of my videos. I passed my channel. They know about my networks. My father cannot do a lawsuit because I have the proofs, but he has the lobbying, and that's why I'm trying to break. And I have to do like maybe I'm gonna do some Spanish and maybe to get some recontact like Spanish people that I know, like Spanish speakers, that I can just brush up my Spanish, because I want to raise awareness. Many people they are not aware. I've seen some people in a group, they just discovered that at their 30s. Actually, I discovered the thing when I was 17, 18. But I didn't know there was a name for it. The name I discovered when I was 31. It was in England, and it was from I put him in, probably I'll put it again in the description here, from a report that I've seen there. I don't know if it was from in America. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna put that, and I just don't even like to see that, because for me it hurts, to see stuff like that. I see like one time, and then I get everything, like I know what it is, and actually in this documentaries, this doc, that actually that's, you can say that finished in a good way, because in the end they caught the mother into treatment, but it didn't cause like it caused damages, because she wasn't changing the medication for her daughter not to get like healed. She was caught, I think, by CCTV or something like that. And just but as they took it in time, and later on the her daughter, apparently they got along together. I don't know if there was a father, and then I don't know about the story, but there are many stories. There's a mother that was arrested, and I published this already in United States, but you don't know about the kid. You haven't heard about him. And that case, I think it's the best, because even for him, if he gets surrounded for good people, but in Australia as well. But what she was like injecting like anti-cancer medicaments, and her daughter didn't have anything. Imagine the side effects of that for her life. So not that these people should be punished, and only even if they stopped. Imagine if they stop, they don't stop. But imagine the consequence. That's damaging, they causing damage, they are ruining, they are killing. So there's, for reason they are not arrested, there's few survivors. When they are a child, you don't understand. I didn't understand why I was taking so many doctors. And you can see from previous videos that I have certificates. I worked, my sister never worked, my mother never worked, and I have a father who is alcoholic. And then everything shows that I'm just like, I don't like the concept of normality. I'm not gonna point out you go to this or that, but everything shows that, I don't have anything. Even the doctors paid by her. There is one doctor said, your mother is the problem. He was paid by her, but of course he wouldn't give a document or anything, and he didn't know that was 1996. I am 46 now, and they managed to get me like fired at almost 44, when I was 43, completing 44. And this doctor, like, he didn't know about Munchausen syndrome by Salk, but he said, look, when everything that I reported to him, I was a psychiatrist, I was obliged to go. Otherwise, I would be playing football. I would, dating. Probably I would have children by then. I'd carry on my life. I didn't even think about depression. If my football team lost, I felt sad. What I would do? Go run naked into the streets and say, I'm happy. Yes, my football team lost a match, It's just like, no, just like I was having that, he noticed. And every time that I had notes in the reporting to him, that my mother created like this problem. She was so happy, she caused the problem, then she caused the problem, and she was so sad when I was like totally happy. I was not doing anything bad to her, but I was happy with my friends, with everything, with playing football, going to university. So happy in my life, not paying attention, and she gets like depressed, because then there is her husband, there is horrible relation, and she picks up on me, and then she likes, and she's like, I called it the eternal baby, because they want someone to be submitted. And then you think it's just, no, it's just being nice, no. She got nastier, nastier and nastier, and she threatened me even from 17 years old. She she didn't allow me. She interdicted me from eating at the table with the rest of the family. Started the Actually, the ostracism, it starts like this. Your isolation starts like this. Then years later, 3 4 years later, she wanted me to oblige. I said, no, no, I'm not gonna sit anymore. No, I'm happy. I survived there. It was very painful, but she was nasty, and she threatened me of death. She said, you're gonna die. You're gonna die in misery. What's happening? What's happening? I just ask what's happening, and she creates things, and she doesn't stop. Even when I was 25, she used to tell to my father, who's a doctor, tell him he's sick. And one day I was going to my father and say, why are you bringing me to these doctors? And I just like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna argue with you. Just I don't want to. I don't like. Or because your mother doesn't feel fine. You need to obey her. An adult doesn't need to obey neither a father. And it used to be like that. You say, Ayrton, you're just an adult. You vote for whatever. If you want to, if you have a different views from football, even I have even his same football club, but there I know fathers and sons that have different football clubs, but you have different politic views. You are an adult, and he started to like to proxy me like, no, you have to obey her and have to be like the baby, blah blah blah, and just like. And then I remember when he evicted me, and he didn't evict my sister. Said, oh, because you're gonna learn to love her. And she just saw at me like with that face, fake face. And she was causing problems all the time. She was making him give me problems, and they created this, that I'm exhausted of working. I have a sister who never worked, and the other has loads of benefits, and my mother never worked, and they are laughing. They're laughing, doesn't mean, and they're trying to destroy my image and trying to raise awareness. Some videos I put some humor, and sometimes because I try to, let's try to keep, but I have nightmares that sometimes, just because it is another, it's called depressive. I'm being compressed actually, but what do people want me to do to be happy? Oh, I lost my job, now how am I gonna pay my bills? Then I'm gonna fall in their jaws. That there was a problem. I was trying to be independent. There was having 2 jobs in Brazil. Then later, to have minimum wages, I cut everything. And then I have a sister who's just enjoying life. And then I'm worried because I'm the place I live. I lost the cut basically almost 90% to 95% of my contacts in my city there, because I'm away. I'm not there to defend myself. And here, because I arrived here when I was 37, I lived in England from 31 to 36, and almost 37 when I arrived here. And I got few jobs. It was first years was just to learn French. It was hard, and I could give a time to myself because I worked hard for it. Understandable. But even when I learned, it was not easy to find a job. It took 1 year, and you have to improve it. You have to practice. But then I was scared, it took like 1 year and a half to get the first temporary jobs. They're just to work here and there, and they don't guarantee. And there's nothing coming. They're just playing with you, just spy. And then I got my fixed contract, and when I was 40, but they destroyed. I lost everyone. My sister, she has contacts. Then I tried to say, look, tell that I'm a good person, just to try it for me, even if it's not for this work, for me to get good relations, because I have no past. It doesn't. Some people say go to another country, like another foolish things. If I go there for the 6 I'm gonna arrive. Where did you work? Where do you come from? Where is your family? Why are you coming here? Go to another city. It's the same thing, even if it's another city. And then I'm gonna face the same problem. So they keep, oh no, I'm gonna pass you the reference. They ask reference sometimes, even it was 37 here. They ask, can you give reference from someone in Brazil? And I just give like address. I said they didn't have an email. that my father was old, because I felt just they would cause me problems, and I was paying my bills, they would just make something to, and luckily they didn't. They just, in the end, they sent a letter my father received when I had finished the contract. I think it was because I paid everything, even the caution stuff. And I think like almost like 10 months later, when it finished the contract, just my father received the letter, and I received the letter. I had left the place like in London, just move on from another place. It was very expensive. I found a cheapest place, but I trusted my sister. I tried to trust my sister. I just don't pass to your parents. Though I like my father, but I don't trust her mother, and they don't pass. And my sister used me, and she used my trust. You're gonna say, oh, you're foolish to trust. No, she used, and that makes her a criminal, not me, an idiot. If take advantage, and they destroyed me, my reputation at work. Like, imagine then here, and then they have, I can prove, because then I passed more contacts even to try to facilitate, because I know probably about 300 people that some, but I passed the people I knew for the last times, like 10 12 people. And of course I was trying to get like even like my girlfriend here, but she's like, there's complaints about that. They affect relationships. There are some people who say I lost my soulmate, and I just think, well, if you lost your soulmate, if you're even soulmate, just try to fight about it. A woman said that, but because of them, they proxied him. There's a woman who complained. They made him, cause the woman fell ill in one point, and they said, look, she complained that they and I've seen actually, not even in this case, I've seen there is a guy from Senegal, I think, in Africa. He said the same story. They said the family destroyed. Actually, then a girl destroyed the relationship as well, because the girl was the same thing. She was working abroad a lot, and then she had to go, and she lost her husband, or her things, because they create like a chaos. They just create a chaos, and depends on the relationship. It's just like my mother killed, basically, I would say, like silently, with a lie, killed her mother-in-law, my grandmother, the mother of my father. And my father inherited many stuff when my grandmother was alive, like lands, when he was 40. And my mother as well, when my grandfather, when her father was alive, she had already, 2 apartments in her name. She threw that in my face. Even if my father had 3 properties already, he had one even in North Brazil, cause he had a very massive, huge retirement wages. But then, okay, they just, okay, you just keep, okay, I'm gonna work, do my work, do my life. I'm not gonna die of famine, just, and things are gonna be, even if my grandfather died in 2009, there was nothing, even a pencil that came to me. I just stayed quiet. They looked at that, you are stingy, you are like, you are greedy, nothing. And then they said the opposite. No, no, you have to work more. It's just like the Miserables. They make Fontine work more than 100 years, and she went crazy. She just like, and they people start to insult her, and she answers back, and she's on another city, and just the 10 years just playing psychological. It's not related to Mons by proxy directly, but it's the same kind of reversal psychology. And she worked more and more, and they asked her to send money to them, and she killed herself working. She was just exhausted, stranded. She was selling her teeth. Was actually, this novel, it's the 19th century. So she was selling, and she sold her last teeth. She had no more teeth to earn money, and they actually kidnapped, sort of kidnapped, because she left her daughter to them, because she was trying to find work, and find work, and taking care of her daughter was almost impossible. And they promised to take care of her, but she went to another city, and they were just exploiting her. It's just the same thing. I left my things with them, and they just keep saying things about me. They're gonna kill this the city I love. And then they could contact these people. They could contact my manager. They could send a mail with a copy. There's a copy. It's called CI in English, I think. I think it's, yes, something like that. But that's copy. That's a hidden copy, or you have like CC or something like that. You have copy emails from the 80s, from the 90s, from the 70s. They could even do. My father could do to my manager, look, in the name of my son, I would just aware you that I would say that I would just make you aware that we know about the problem. You couldn't do that. He is like a mother. A guy was killed in Brazil. She complained that he was killed there, and then there was a skull. Then there was justice. The place he was working for, that actually that he went to claim his wages, and they killed him. They beat him and killed him. This place closed. The guys said, oh, we didn't want you, but they do the opposite. They are going to stimulate for me. My father could send an email. They could say, no, he's silent. He took part of it. And then everybody, I lost contact here. Then, of course, I have to find new people. But just imagine like someone, I'm arriving, I'm going to go to bars. I don't like it. I don't drink alcohol. To coffee until I'm 46. I suffered with that when I arrived in Montpellier, because sometimes I didn't say my age. But when I said, like most of people that go there, they're about 23, 25. Maximum otherwise, and they say, look, I'm 37. If you say 46, and then there's mistrust of both ways, because they don't trust you. They just say, okay, you don't have a job, you don't have nothing, you just tell me about it. Even if you tell the true story, it's hard, and you can fall. There's good people, and some people see you are weak, and you are vulnerable, you are isolated. They're gonna try to profit. Oh yes, I am your friend. And then I seen many things like that. Just, oh no, if they don't just, they can scam you. There's dangerous people everywhere. It's not even here in France. There's in London. There's everywhere. It's tough. And then it's just to start a trustful relationship without job, and to get a new one when I shouldn't even be fired, and they are there, so they are killing. They are waiting. Then I have these nightmares. Then I had another nightmare that I was this night that I was there then under there, but they're just doing this. They play like the I am the nasty person, and I think they left me in this huge house, and they probably have other properties. They hide even from government stuff, but they hide things. They don't even say if my grandmother is alive. They find many excuses. They don't speak to me. My father they said I don't speak to my mother, but my sisters use that. They are not that they have pity on my mother. They use that because they profit from it, and or die, and that's a loving mother. But they are gonna leave me there probably without keys. If I go out, or if I don't speak to her, I die of hunger in Brazil. I have nightmares instead. That I have to go to other places. And then my stuff is there's reversal psychology, that they never work. They're very wealthy. Never anything came to me. They took my job. They are blackmailing me. My sister, she sleeps. Of course she doesn't, because I didn't sleep this night. Even I take a medicine which is called bromazepam, for you who knows. And I try to take a small dose, but sometimes I take like the whole dose. No, I try to get rid of this, like many people. But I just, like, it was 4, 6 in the morning. I haven't got to sleep. And then I slept a bit, like 2, 8, but just nightmares. Then I tried to sleep again, to have like just recover, because then you start, you like, it's computers, at least the old computers, your brain doesn't reset, and then you start to be confused, and then you start to be stressed. But my sister knows also. She's gonna have more luxury. She doesn't need to find a job. She just points the finger out to her brother, says, oh, that's his problem. He doesn't find a job. She never found a job. Now, he's not ill, so she has to find a job. Oh, he's aggressive. And then she says anything. She said best word, both of them, and they hide. So it's killing, They are killing, and I dream about of that. Though I cannot. And I try to be harsher. People are gonna accuse, oh, then you were aggressive, and it's just, oh no, just relax. How can I relax? There's even before this pandemic, this war. You can take from 2010, 2008, and you can take in history. Every time it gets worse. It was, of course, in England it was difficult to find a job, but I found it quick, like in 2 months. I was younger. That counts. Some people, it's biological, I was talking to a friend that's more or less my age. He said, look, when you were young, you were full of energy, and you were creative and everything. And then I have a sister who never worked, just points out, it's just like, of course she's gonna sleep calm and she's gonna say, "Oh, I'm a very calm person." I was because just she's well fed. She's just like everything. And my mother is she's crying. She's making a scandal. It's my sister saying my twin sister who claims lots of things about this. She's a truly religious. She's not, you know. And she claims, she said, "Oh, she's crying. She doesn't support the fact." She knows. They know that I'm starving. They're amazed. And my mother stopped because I'm saying, "You're making proof against yourself," because she tried to. I made a text on my Facebook. If you are welcome to go to my. It's always Ayrton Carvalho. Just on Twitter, my photo is different, but it's always the same photo. But you can save my face straight away on Twitter. But I made a test how she just to she closes you, surrounds you like in an emails, and she was surrounding me, and then she took everyone else. Then my father took like called friends out, and just now just speak to your mother. It's the only person that loves you in the world. And just like she has pedophile tendencies. She asked me to suck her tits when I was 13. Was just disgusting and scary. Just okay. It just I don't have a problem with that. I just okay, just to stay away, you know. But I start to see that she get like more and more nasty with me, and when I'm growing up, so she has to sort these sick problems, and it's jail for this because she's aware of what she's doing. If she wasn't aware, it's not like there's the I can I know the judge was in Australia. Is I think it was Tony Rafter, his name, the name of the judge. He said to this mother that was injecting like anti-cancer medicaments in her daughter that she didn't need. "You were aware, lady, you know that what you're doing. So because you were aware, it's don't come with excuses that you're crazy. Just not it. Yes, there is the syndrome, but at the same time you are aware of what you're doing. You could have done different. The damage you were causing. So that's 6-year prison sentence. That's clear case, you know. Apparently there were cases there's 12 years even prison. And the thing is she's totally aware. She's not aware. She's having a laugh. She enjoys. I'm gonna use a strong word. She has orgasm when she sees that she can get like me submitted, ill or killed. Even if I died for whatever reason it can be, she's gonna say, "Oh, my poor mother, he's dead." And most of my sisters are gonna say, "Oh, he's dead. He's crazy." And they profit from it. "Oh, look that my sister never worked. Oh, that's Ayrton could claim his things even if he get her girlfriend. I'm not. I can have a girlfriend until I in fifth. I can have. I know men who has a son when they are 50 years old. Then oh, he not gonna claim anything." And just say even if my they just they feel say, "Oh, you don't receive because they are alive also well." So my sister should be living where should be living in the streets there. There's something very wrong, and that's not about comparison. If my sister like dolls, and her dolls cost like $1 million, I don't care if I have like a small toy. There is small, I don't know. That's a small kid's toy that costs $5, $1. I don't really care, but I'm talking here about famine. I'm not talking the price of cars or anything. Talking about here about murder, and that can be little, and they don't stop to project. They destroy your image, and like a proof, like they have things they know here. I could stop this. I tried to make a deal. I stop like because my father said, "Oh, you put that on Facebook. You cannot do anything." Yes, okay. I take everything out, but you talk to me. But he, because he thinks that he took friends out, he's gonna try to blackmail, and they're not gonna speak. He could try to reach to me and say, "Look, you stop talking these things, and you do a deal." But for them, that doesn't interest. They screwed me here in the city I like. They know if I go out of the city, it's very difficult, and they screwed me there where they start to say like I left like 15 years the country. They start to say, "Oh no, he's left his job. He left. He lost his job and used that against me. Oh, it was his fault. Oh, his car. They made like quote friends that cannot call friends anymore. Believe that I was gonna talk about that movie, The Man Who Counted. It's from Malbataan. This man who didn't say, oh, he didn't take into account that the guy could be violent in his job. That the guy who smoked all the time, he was cursing me all the time, and I just say stopped, you know. And one day I cursed him back and say, "Dear such friends that I didn't calculate." The guy he blew up my tire. It's just like with a knife or a very strong knife. It's just the wheel of the tire, just like something like even the guy when my car I left there not to be robbed, and he took the antenna as well, he just he's just took it apart, just broke it, and fact it was my car aggressed him. The guy came here after work the day he threatened me of death actually, and they said, I know Ayrton deserves that. Ayrton deserves that. So they are saying no. So if I don't calculate and I do violence, then people deserve violence. That's how society works. That's the Italian's law, that's an eye for an eye. That some people complained about in one group, but that's what they are stimulating. That I say, no, you cannot come here. It doesn't matter, and do this stuff. And even my manager used to defend me, even his friends. Then my sister gets the content, gets the opposite. They start to get nasty and they start to threaten me, like, oh, that's the bad son that doesn't treat well his mother. And then there's these come things from society. So the guy came here, and there's pictures of that, of even and the guy from actually I left the car not to be robbed, and it was taken by the town hall here. It was taken I think 6 months later, and the guy when they saw and they said, okay, I left like there, not didn't touch because I wasn't using the car, I didn't need it to go to my job. And I said, it's at least if the tire is flat, they are not gonna rob until I find a place to park. But of course, then I had to fix it, and I made a deal for it, that at least the time being to put the parking in here in the thing that was the guy made a cheaper price, because everything is expensive, and you wouldn't think like in France there is any danger, but they vandalized the guy vandalized my car. And the guy there in the town hall, which is just on the side of, there's a police station just on the side, they are together, they work together, collaborate. But the guy said that the technician there, he said that the person who did that to you wanted like evil things to you, wanted very bad things. Just like it's not normal, because your tire can have like a hole for something that you are just hiding. No, it was on the side of, and it was huge. And he said he must have used like a weapon like this, either something very sharp and very strong, and he wanted to do bad things. And of course, if he took the antenna and threatened me, but they are happy. My father was happy, like drinking, and this call from the 6th of June 2019 is happy. He's totally drunk, saying, now you are gonna obey my mother. And I can see my mother is faking a cry, she's laughing. I could see that. I could see that in my face, this image I saw many times. And that's what they're doing. That's what I am doing. So Munchausen syndrome by proxy is a killer. It's murder. It's subreptitious murder. I raise awareness. I'm gonna fall ill at one moment. You're gonna see what Ayrton was saying, because of lack of food and unemployment and stress. They're gonna manage it. They try, even because if it's the same thing for an adult. There's even a great psychiatrist in Brazil, she said that they try to make an adult vulnerable, but even for a child, they make a child sick. Even this girl that was taken cancer, she's gonna get sick later, because she's taking, if you put like things in your knee, on your foot or in your hand that you don't need, it's gonna make it sick. I'm gonna finish ill because they say, oh, he's ill, and then I lose my job, and then I start to feel badly. The market's not gonna accept me. Of course, then you sleep horribly. And then I have my sister who is sleep like by the swimming pools, drinking cocktails. I've seen like many big people fall. Like when I mean fall, they went to prison. They had to answer in front of justice. Even if take the Godfather movies, which what they are like, and one person in the train station said they're acting like mafia too. She said it about my job. I don't know what she knew about my family, but said they are acting like they are making try to collapse you. And when she saw the last 6 months when my sister closed the contact, but even like if you watch the movie, that the grandfather, the guy actually he has to answer in justice, for things that he's doing. And then, but my father is less important, though he has importance. He works for a private company, and he thinks he's protected in a shell, but he's not. He can, but I saw like big people fall. presidents lose their thing or whatever, impeachments, owners of enterprises and other scandals that you think like other famous people go to jail, and then my father thinks he's gonna get rid of that, then I'm just saying that's murder. And I try to raise awareness, because and I'm gonna try to make like sometimes I'm gonna delete stuff. Like I said, sometimes I try to do even to keep like a good humor, but I don't think sometimes it's good. But as long as I keep publishing and few people look, I try to raise awareness about the thing. They are murdering, they are killing. I'm not gonna find a job. It's gonna be very difficult. If I find one, maybe it's gonna be in the black market. Maybe I'm gonna be mistreated because it's just like the demand and offer, and I'm gonna be desperate, and it's gonna be worse. And my sister doesn't have to work, and then my health is gonna go worse. I was in a reasonable job. I consider that was tough but reasonable. I didn't have time to keep studying and doing master and the PhD. But even people who study, they are unemployed, many of them. Here in Europe, at least, I know even in States, people struggle. And then I have a sister, and then it needs to bring up for justice, because I don't come from a poor family. They say, okay, just like you have to sort out things, and it's just like that. No, they are doing like 10 years. If you read the book, you think, oh, this guy should be in jail, no? Though, so just stop the cancer. And then there is two compares, two metaphors. One is with the cancer, and the other one is the hydra, which is the mythological monster from the Greek mythology. That's just a way of putting the heads. Once you don't cut the hydra, and cutting is like stopping this person, going to jail. I don't mean, because if you, on the other hand, when I cite this, and so many people agree with me, there's some debate about this, but it happens like in the G. Rose case in the United States, where the authorities recognized she was screaming out of pain. She was saying, my mother is making it. She took time to be aware of what's happening. Like I said, a child is not defense, but when she grew up, she's saying, look, she's lying about, she's making up things, and her mother didn't stop. Then it ended up in a tragedy. It screwed up her life, it's true, though she has like most of what I see from comments, even from a video from Kate Morton, that's very famous, at least like pop therapist. But you see the comments from the videos, the people have compassion about her, but she committed a crime in the end. She just couldn't take it. And then the authorities said, oh, we got it wrong, we didn't listen to her. Her mother was making a historical past, this girl was suffering, and she ended up killing her mother. Now it's, for me, it's too late. It's not gonna help. I know it's not gonna help anymore. But they are killing me. They're killing me like in a silent way, and I'm suffering. I could be like quiet, and I try to study every day. I try to get like healthy meal, the cheapest thing I can have, healthy. I try to get habits, but I cannot get rid of these nightmares. And they are torturing me, killing me, and I shouldn't even be fired. And they are making like my reputation, like I said, like they are destroying my image, and I have to fight back, like for many people who are like torn apart with lies. And throughout history, if you don't say anything, they just gonna finish me off like this. Oh, Garton disappeared, it's just his problem. He's ill, don't. So he talks, he speaks to his mother, he's ill, he has something, he's lost his job. He's not ill, he finds job at 45 years old, 46. And I showed the proofs. They didn't give me any support. My father was happy that I was fired, and he told me not to go to the court. He intimidated me, like there was intimidation for me. Of course, if I go and I win, and now the time expired already for the labor lawsuit. But in the criminal court, he doesn't want, because the first thing my manager, if she got caught by justice, which would be another thing, but she's just a spearhead. She would say, look, your father called me as a great doctor and said these things, and because I started to work there with 40, and 41 she got in, she took over from the other manager that just stayed with the shop upstairs. She was when the young shit was managing two, and she was managing two, but the other one that she was managing was a different shop from the company that was not busy at all, so it's easier for her to manage too. but she knows me from 41. Then there is, then the guy, a local guy from here, and then my father calls, what the contribution? Then a guy, I am not grateful to my father. Why doesn't he go to the city, that is tiny village like with 5,000, and work for his grandfathers, and he doesn't want to go there. He doesn't go even to the city he was born. I said, no, you have to come here. Like, there's countries is different. Just he wants me like to slave. Like, do you see like in the Simpsons, just like throw fish heads, like out there in the basement or in the attic, and just want to treat like this. And my sisters profit from that. Even if I'm a lot more intelligent than my both sister, being clever is different. Clever and malicious and criminal is different than being intelligent. I could prove that I can do lots of things. I have a driving license here in France, driving license here there in Brazil. The car I bought with my money is the cheapest in the market, and I made transactions. I got like things. I have like the papers for be able to work. I have to go through to medical exams, and they got the contacts. They fabricated, like in English, they fabricate and they destroy your image. So I raise awareness because it can be helping, be happening to you, happening to someone you know, and if people don't get united, and some people agree with me that you need to face it and raise awareness. These people don't get to jail. They're gonna kill me. My life is gonna be finished before my 48, before my 50s, and I'm suffering. Because if it's all of a sudden, if I went and it's just like occasionally, it was not commanded, and okay, someone robbed me, someone stabbed me, and there was something that I knew I was responsible when I was gone. I was not even I realized, or an accident. Okay, I died when I was 20. Now I'm suffering because they are torturing. They know they are killing me, and I know that I'm gonna die before my 48, my 49, 50. I don't find a job, or I'm gonna be a slave of a pedophile, dirty, nasty, two-faced person who should be in jail, which is that it is the mother, should be in jail. So if people want to put her in hospital, but raise awareness that how little it is. And you see, a child cannot defend itself. So when it grows up, you're supposed to be an adult, but then it starts the persecution. It doesn't stop, And many people go away from their states, from their houses, and these people don't stop. If she respected me as an adult and she lies, she keeps lying. Then there's the video that someone told me about the gaslight effect. I didn't know the word, but I know the strategy, because they say they invalidate. But she does the gaslight. She tortured me when I was like an adult. She was locking me to rooms and say she didn't do that. It's locked. There's a room that's like there's a garden. There's a window everywhere. She locked and she went to look, and then she was an accident. Just like you run over people on a bus stop is an accident. Oh, I'm sorry, it's an accident. But she was just singing and going around and looking inside. I could there in Brazil gets very cold. It could have died of cold. It gets like close to 0 degree, and my father doesn't arrive. It is she's just doing the same things. She drives one person crazy. What I would do? I asked people, like even like quote professionals, what do you do? I would break the windows. Then she to accuse me for whatever. I tried to. The roof was could be difficult and dangerous to, and I would be locked on the other side of the house anyway. Either in there's the other patio, because you're in front of the house. I would be locked. It would be not worth it. It would be dangerous. It would be weird just to climb the roof. I don't know even if I couldn't to climb the roof from there, because there's no support where I would have just with my hands, and it's quite is slimy. And then what I would say, okay, and then I stay outside and locked, and I saw her in the eyes, and she locked me two more times. I'm not gonna say that's something that's happened for an accident. You don't know. And when you're a child, I don't know why they were taking me to doctors. I don't have anything. And then this doctor said, no, the problem is your mother. That's what they try to persuade. They try to push the disease, because it's her. She killed the dog, and that's a real story. I would like to see her sister tell in front of God, in front of the justice, and swear in front of her two daughters that's not true. She killed the dog. She bathed him she overwhelmed him of perfume when she was young. She was like 4 or 5. Just show her traits of her character there, and just like the way she is. And then you can say, oh, there's sickness there, I don't know, it comes from her parents. You can try to find excuses for everything. But you can find excuse for Hitler, and then if you go this way, you can find excuse for terrorism, like the people, oh, they just did that to the World Trade Center because of this or that. Then you can find excuse for that, That's just, oh, let's study their psychology, I don't care. And when you become an adult, like I overcame many things alone, just when I become an adult, many things that was wrong. My father used to more or less be a guide, but she took him out of the game, out of the game, out of my friendship. And he lost his, I couldn't expect that he lost, because he was supposed to be honest, to be just, and he broke everything. He broke his word, because she made him like that, and the same thing. She's aware when she's now, I don't know what age, I don't even want to know. She's about 74, 75. Oh, it's an old poor lady. No, that's a monster, and she's totally aware. And of course she's not worn out. Even my sister is not worn out of work. She's just giving orders. If you see Harold and Maude and movies like that, there's loads of movies and books that talk about the issue, and then she's completely aware. She's calculating so much that she knows about these things. My sister knows about this, is going to tell her. She knows, she saw these things. Though she was sending mails, oh, I want to talk to you. Your people, your work were bad after I was fired. First, my sister was saying everything is good, you're paranoid. Then I was fired. It's just always this tactic, She plays she throws the fire. Always, I used this metaphor since I was young. She throws the fire. The match. She puts the fire, the alcohol. She throws, and then you are screaming out of pain. And then she comes. Oh, I bring like a cup of water to finish your pain. Look, really see how I love in front of everyone. Then she does this. Oh, everybody was bad in your work. I'm gonna talk to talk to me. Oh, I didn't do anything. It's the confessions you have to do, like when you are at school. You just like. When you do a catechesis, like for example in Brazil, depends on what religion you come from, and you have to go and confess your sins, and you just say, oh, I just cheated yesterday on a homework, wasn't supposed. And actually, when you're kids, you do whole loads of stuff and just say 2 or 3 things. It's just like children stuff, She's never gonna, because if it's a catch-22 for her. If she confess what she's done, she's go to hospital and prison straight away. So she wants to kill me now because so much, and she's aware. But it's not because of that. She has pleasure on that. She's having orgasm on that. She was trying, and I say you are making, she probably consulted lawyers. They have lawyers. They lots of more lawyers that I cannot afford. And they have like 10 lawyers they cannot afford. Spoke, yes, you are making it right. You are making proof against yourself. He was fired, and you are like smothering him on emails. Then just yourself, you just want to be the only one to talk to him, and just lie after lie. There's contradictions in the emails. Then she stopped that. But then my father stopped, and my father took people out, and they believe some people profit from it. There are some vultures, but there are some good people out there. So just raise awareness about it.